I know a fair bit about building and the industry and all the products associated, but there's some things that stump me and I have to sometimes get an expert in. And this time I've had to call in the guys from TimberTECH because this cedar job we've got behind us is a big one and I'm not sure what to do. So Rolf, you know, you're an expert in this industry. What do we do here?
It's a pretty simple process if you know what you're doing, but it has its pitfalls if you're a little bit unsure. So what we're looking at doing is cleaning it back to the bare timber, and then we've got an array of options from there, whether we want to oil it, stain it, what colours we want to use.
Yeah, I've built plenty of cedar homes, and when we do them, we tell the people it's been stained, you need to stain it another 3 months, then 6 months from now, then every 3 years, and then you come back in 20 years, it looks like this. So.
Inevitably, it doesn't get done, and that's where we step in, because more often than not, people are too scared to tackle it themselves, or they'll attempt it and they'll realise it's a much bigger job than what they first thought. And that's where we can help out.
We might have a look at this bad boy, eh?
Let's go.
So Mark, when I first took a look at this, I looked at it and went, this cedar isn't looking in the best condition at all. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to rip it off and replace it.
I think a chippy would say that, because obviously they're looking at replacing the timber, but you really don't have to at this stage.
Yeah.
Even though it started to cup a wee bit, it's only on the very thin areas. The bulk of the timber is still sitting flat against the house.
Yep.
And realistically, we could oil that and have that looking great, and with plenty of coats of oil, like a moisturiser, it would start to sit back flat again. So there's no problem with the timber at the moment. Cedar's a very resilient timber as long as it's looked after.
So the problem for this house has been what? Lack of?
Yeah, no maintenance. It's been left to weather, it's been left to the ultraviolet, the wind, the rain, the salt, the sea air, and all of that started to wear down the surface of the timber. But there's still a lot of integrity in the bulk of the board there.
Yep.
And with you know, some work on the outside and some oil soaking on there to give it some more dimensional stability, this timber will last forever.
So where do we start and what are the processes involved?
Yeah, the first part is to wash it down. So we use a chemical wash. It's a low pressure wash with a surfactant which kills off the mold and the fungus on the surface, and then leave it on there for about 10 or 15 minutes to do its job. It soaks in and kills it off at the root. Then we wash it away at low pressure. Cedar's a very soft timber, so you need to be very careful working with high pressure near cedar.
Yeah.
But a low pressure wash will get all of the dirt and the rubbish out, and it'll start to brighten back, and the cedar will look like it would have done originally. And then we oil it. Then we just apply oil. And literally on these spaces where it's very dry, we're going to need 3 or 4 coats in the first 12 months if we want these boards to start sitting flat again. In the areas where it's not so affected by the ultraviolet, 1 coat every 12 to 18 months will be absolutely fine.
Not everyone likes the colour of natural cedar, but with the oil on it looks really nice to me. Can you stain it different colours?
Yeah, the oil itself comes as a clear base, but you can tint it with any number of colours. There are 42 different colours in the range that we use, and each of those could be intermixed as well. So really, the sky's the limit.
With your work, you've halved mine.
Yeah.